All right, I'm with my boy Sai, and once
What
again,
is up?
once again, we are going to be talking about Emu's devil fruit because we haven't talked about it enough. You know,
We couldn't get enough of this.
we've speculated about Emu being a dragon. We speculated about Emu being the Umubozu. So now we're going to be speculating about Emu being another thing, possibly. Just keep in mind,
Yes.
Emu could be her or his devil fruit could be whatever you want it to be because we have no idea at this point. I mean, we're going to be going over tons of stuff, including the silhouette. We love going over silhouette piece stuff. So first of all, this theory is coming from my favorite One Piece YouTuber, Yuderon. Should go give him a follow. He's a Japanese YouTuber, and he's crazy with the One Piece stuff. He's probably
insane.
Yeah, he's probably going to give you more of an insight into this stuff than the YouTubers that you're currently following, simply because he is Japanese and he can like go between the lines and stuff. Like us English speakers can't. But recently, with the discovery of what the Gorosei devil fruits are, he started to speculate more about Emu because the Gorosei are beasts in some way. They're all mythical Zoans. They're all like yokais or mythical like creatures in some way. So naturally, Emu is probably going to be the same, especially because back at the Reverie, we saw Emu's silhouette, and he or she is probably a beast the way that they are. So first of all, like, what do you, just your strong opinion or your leading opinion, what did you think, or
My
what do
leading
you
opinion.
think? Yeah, did you even
Yeah.
have an opinion on what Emu's devil fruit could be?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ever since day one. I still haven't changed. I will admit, learning about the theory we're about to talk about today kind of wavered me a little bit, but I still believe that Emu is a cartoon devil. Something out of like
Oh,
Cuphead, yeah. So that Luffy would have an opponent that could have the same goofy abilities that he has. Because right now, like we're fighting a bunch of serious characters, they're kind of getting memed on, and I'm like, okay, the only person that could really give Luffy a run for his money, it would be like the antithesis of him, other than Blackbeard, of course, since he'll just negate it, would be Emu. Because for Blackbeard, he could probably just negate Luffy's powers, and then they'll have to fight mano a mano, and it's like, okay, that's cool. But what about the cartoon aspect? I want an opponent on that level, and I'm like, yo, like if Emu was a cartoon devil, that'd be pretty sick.
yeah, I could see
Kind of
that.
like Aku from Samurai Jack, even.
Yeah, it would have to match up with Luffy. They would both have the Toon Force abilities, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Well, this theory is not a cartoon devil. This is actually more mythology based. Actually, a different kind of one. A philosopher actually came out with this stuff, Plato. But we'll go more into that. So, the first thing that makes Uteron think that this could be a strong possibility. I mean, first of all, it came from like a comment in his comments section, another Japanese viewer. But if we take a look at the empty throne in Marischwa, the throne that Emu sits upon, the armrests are like lions. Now, does that
Yes.
mean anything? No, it doesn't have to mean anything. It could just be a cool design. It doesn't really have to symbolize anything. But underneath, like the armrest, you kind of see like I don't know, almost like a serpentine shape.
Kind of like a snake design,
It
right?
kind of looks like it. To me, it kind of looks
You
like
know the
it.
guy likes snakes.
I mean, this
Yeah.
could be confirmation bias. I mean, this video is confirmation bias for sure, but it kind of looks that way. And that's because that's what the Demiurge is. That's like the whole crux of this video. That Emu's mythical Zoan devil fruit could be based off of the Demiurge, which, like we're pointing out on the empty throne here, is like this lion-headed serpent creature with human arms. Now, to go a little more into it, it's an artisan-like figure responsible for fashioning and maintaining the physical universe. Now, that's also interesting because that probably relates to Emu as well, because, in my opinion at least, I'm pretty sure Emu is the one that's responsible for the way the world in One Piece is right now. Like the red line, the calm belt, the elevation of the water, all of that stuff. Are you on board with that?
I am as well. When you think about how weird the red line is in the world and how so many problems would be fixed if the red line were destroyed, it does feel like Emu has something to do with that. So I don't know where that theory spawned. I feel like a lot of people have talked about that, like, hey, the red line is artificial. And it's like, yeah. I feel like a majority of the community kind of come together with this theory and kind of agree, which is kind of cool. You know, you hardly get that. So yeah, I am on the boat that one way or another, Emu definitely had a part to play in the creation of the red line.
So it would line up with the Demiurge, in mythology at least, created by Plato, being the creator of the world, because that's kind of what Emu is. Also, I think Emu also represents the Earth. If we're looking at like the Gorosei, how they're all planets in the solar system, Emu is probably Earth, as where, Luffy is the sun. Also, speaking of that, another interesting thing about the Demiurge is that if you look around for some depictions of it and some imagery, it's associated with planets in the solar system. And there's even sometimes where it's like behind the sun, in front of the sun, or biting the sun, which is pretty interesting. The sun, big iconography in One Piece to the good guys. Emu, probably more related to the moon. Not always the bad guys, but usually the moon is associated with bad guy stuff. Another little just side thing I want to put out there. In Japanese, she is 4, and she is lion. So that means maybe 4 times 4 is 16, and then 16's significant number is like the 16 holy bullets that we see Daffy use against Luffy. But then also the Mother Flame, or Uranus, the rays that come down are 16. And 16 is supposed to be like the holy divine number, which allegedly associates with Emu. I know. What are you talking about? This is nonsense. I get it, but just got to put it out there in case some of you guys like that stuff. So
yeah, 16 is pretty crazy. I mean, it's kind of everywhere when you really think about it.
I know. I feel like
when it comes
movie.
to like Marie Joie.
Yeah, if you look into it,
you just keep on seeing the numbers.
Yeah, you could just keep seeing 16 if you want to. But I don't think it's a coincidence. There's definitely like obviously 16 holy bullets from Daffy. That's not like some weird made up thing. Like Oda obviously did that intentionally, and we've talked about it before. I think Daffy is a direct parallel to Emu, the same way that Enel is. But going back to the silhouette that we see of Emu's Zoan form, or devil fruit form, she or he is like coming down the altar and has like those 2 arms with that ambiguous shaped head and sharp teeth, because we see like the mouth open and destroy Sabo's flames. That shape, if you wanted to, can look the way that the Demiurge...
say that.
Yeah, it looks like the way that the Demiurge is shaped. At least I think so. Also, granted, before I've said that Emu is probably like a dragon type devil fruit or something, and that could also be a dragon, but I don't know. Looking at the Demiurge now could also line up with that too.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. When you look at Emu's silhouette coming down from the throne, it could literally be anything.
Yeah, it could just be
so many things it could be.
A big man.
Yeah, a big man, just anything. And that's kind of where I started leaning to my theory of like the cartoon devil, because like, yeah, this is a goofy shape. But the Demiurge, like the way he looks, right? It's like this weird lion snake with arms, and there's many depictions of him. This is just one of them because he can apparently shapeshift as well. And I'm like, hey, if that's the case, then that's perfect, right? Like, and you said earlier that there's many depictions of Demiurge just biting the sun, and what we see in that chapter is he eats Sabo's flame. So it's like, okay, I like this theory. I feel like it does have some pretty good backing to it. But yeah, and also I like just saying his name as well.
Yeah, it is cool. But speaking of the name, like we said, it was made by Plato as like a creator type of false god which is also interesting.
Yeah.
Because Emu is obviously the false guide of the One Piece world, which will eventually be revealed. But also in that manuscript, where the Demiurge comes from that Plato made, is also the Atlantis legend, interestingly enough. And Atlantis was a place, we all know what Atlantis is at this point, but it was like this great advanced civilization that sank into the sea due to a great flood and earthquake. And, some of you are thinking, whoa, that's kind of like the ancient kingdom. Because we know that the ancient kingdom obviously is no longer here. They went away because they opposed Emu and the world government. And we actually found out from Vegapunk that they were super advanced. Like, they were pretty much the way that Egghead Island was. And, like we also talked about, there was apparently like a great flood at some point in the One Piece world, probably during the Void Century. And, that's responsible for why the sea level is raised the way that it is. So Atlantis is probably what the ancient kingdom was, or Laugh Tale, which also probably parallels to Emu being the Demiurge, or at least just Oda basing some part of the story off of Plato's manuscript.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, when you think about the One Piece, it's kind of crazy that nobody has just stumbled upon it, right? Like, hey, if you're just sailing around past the Grand Line in the New World, how can you just not find Laugh Tale? It's been 40, 20 years. Even before that, like, nobody's found it in hundreds of years. Like, it's crazy. So it has to be either sunken deep into the ocean. So when you think about the One Piece and Laugh Tale, it's always so strange that nobody has just randomly stumbled upon it, right? Like, hey, after Roger found it and it inspired the great pirate era, like, nobody found Laugh Tale. And then even before Roger, you're telling me hundreds of years passed and nobody just randomly stumbled upon it. Joy Boy's treasure. Like, there's no way. Like, the only two real options I have come to is that it's either sunken into the ground like Atlantis, or it's kind of like the One Piece filler episode where it's an invisible island that you have to show up to at a certain time of day that, it just magically appears. Like those are the only real two options, and I'm like, okay. Like, out of the two of those, though, I feel like Atlantis is the more plausible route, especially because it's such a popular myth as well. Like, almost everybody knows about Atlantis. I don't even know where I learned about Atlantis, but I feel like from an early age, it's like, oh, yeah, there's like the lost city of Atlantis. It's somewhere down there. It's hidden. It's hidden.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I kind of wanted to find it at one point, like, oh, let me go into the ocean. Let me, let me swim down a little bit. Got to see if it's down there.
I mean, there's still some adults who are unironically looking for it as we speak.
Yep, they're still hunting for the One Piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like that the myth of the Demiurge, like, he kind of ties in Atlantis as well. Like, I feel like this is an all-encapsulating theory, and that's why I really enjoy this as, like, in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm on board with Emu being the Demiurge. I'm also on board with Emu being the cartoon devil. As long as it's not as goofy as Gear 5, there needs to be a balance to the goofiness. And I'm also on board with a dragon or the Umibozu. It all works for me. But that's it.
There's not really a bad answer, huh?
Well, that remains to be seen.
wait. Have you heard some bad ones? Wait. What is it?
No. I'm just saying it just remains to be seen. Oda could just drop the ball, and then it's just something just not good.
I feel like the one way Oda could ruin it, or not ruin it, but you know what I mean. Like, the one mess up I think Oda could do, and he could get away with it, is by making Emu ugly, like making their human appearance just butt ugly.
The fake straw hats, like the fake Robin and the fake Nami.
Like the fake straw hats. I remember their names. I think that the main dude's name is Damaro Black, the forked tongue. Oh, or like Orochi from Wano, right? Like, he had a cool devil fruit, but it's marred by his ugly appearance, so it's like, damn.
True. I mean, that could be why she doesn't want her face, or his or her face, shown. It's always hiding.
Yeah, what if they're just allergic to the sun? That'd be crazy, too.
That would be something.
Oh, yeah, allergic to the sun, and then they have to fight the sun god, so it's like, oh no, where's my sunscreen?
True.
Quick, somebody save me.
But that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed this theory. If you didn't, Let me know how much you disliked it in the comments. And please follow Sai. I'll have his channel link in the description as always. And yeah, have a great day, guys. See you in the next one.
Yep, we'll catch you next time.